Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on how to do the dragon hoop method. It gives you that nice braid at the bottom of your blanket. So it will match your cast off stitch at the top. It does take a little practice to learn. It's easy once you get it. I'm going to be working with Be Cozy yarn today. I'm going to be doing the heart knit cable blanket that Larissa has on her YouTube channel. And I got her yarn to do this. This is in the color Blush. It's really soft. Price point wise, it's between Yarn Bee and Bernay yarn. But it is a very soft yarn. It does feel different to me than even Bernay. It's softer than Bernay, I think. But everybody has their preference. So I'm going to turn this down. And again, I make my loop different than everybody else. So, and the other thing you'll notice is I'm not in a tank top today. It is a little chilly outside in upstate New York, and we got well over a foot of snow with the storm. It was a little chilly, even for me. So if you'll notice, I'm in a regular top today. So here we go. I'm going to turn this down so you can watch me do this. And again, like I said, I make my loop different than everybody else. I don't have a problem at the end of my blanket, on the left side of my blanket, when I do this. My brain just goes when I try to do it the way everybody else does. I just, I can't do it. I don't know why. I've tried, believe me. So this is how I do it. I put my tail over my working yarn, and I pick it up and I grab it, and now I have my slip knot. Works for me. 3 fingers is really, make sure you do 3 fingers if you're doing the dragon hoop method, because it will tighten it just a bit more than not doing the dragon hoop method. Some people call them dragon bumps. Some people call them dragon hoops. It's the same thing. So you're going to make your regular chain like you normally do. 2, 3, 4. This is really soft yarn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is super soft yarn. So with the last stitch, actually the last 2, if you make your last 2 stitches smaller than these, when you go to make the turn to start to build up on this corner, it will stop you from getting those hangout loops here on the bottom. If you end up with those loops, there is a fix. You cut it, take trim it a little bit and fuse it back together, and that loop will be gone. But to avoid that from happening, make your last 2 stitches on your cast on stitch smaller, and it will avoid that problem. So now we have our cast on stitch. Flip it over. Your working yarn will now be on the top. Okay? And what you want to look for are these center part, is the center part of your loops. I've seen people take little dowels and pull them up, or pencils, and they keep them there until they get to where they need to be. But it helps you find the placement. The first one's going to be a little tight because it's next to your slip, the end of your knot here, or your chain here. It's going to be a little tight. But you want to find the top part of your loop, which is really visible. The bottom part of your loop is not as visible as the top, and you want the space in between. Put your finger in between there. Grab your yarn and pull it up. pull it through. Your loops are going to sit up with this as you're doing this. That's normal. They're going to sit up. Find the top part of your loop, which is really visible. The bottom part is not as visible. Find the bottom part and stick your finger in between there and find the center and pull up from there. Let me try to put this down just a little bit more so you can see better. Okay, so here's the top part, right? Here's the bottom part right here. There's the middle. Pull through. Top, bottom, middle. And you might have to pull it up, literally lift it up with your other hand. There's the middle. See the middle right there? That one's easy to find. Top, bottom, middle. It almost looks like a pretzel. And you want to find where the pretzel pretzels will crisscross in the middle. But you want to find that middle section and pull up. Okay? Top, bottom, middle. Top, bottom, middle. There's the middle here on the end. And then I'm going to go ahead and knit one more row so that you can see how pretty this will look. And again, like I said, this will sit up when you first start. As you build your blanket, it will lay on its side, which is normal. And then you go up. And now remember when I said make those last two loops on your cast on stitch a little bit smaller, and you'll avoid that big heavy loop hanging out at the end. It will be gone. Okay, right here. And then you have this beautiful braid at the bottom of your blanket that will now match the cast off stitch at the top of your blanket. Now, if I said this already, I'm sorry, because I've had to do this video a couple times. If you do the drop stitch method, you will have this braid all the way around your blanket. There's no right or wrong way. There's what makes you happy, and that's all that matters. This makes me happy to have the braid all the way around my blanket. I didn't start off this way. I did it differently. I didn't do the drop stitch method. I didn't tend to like the way it hooped up, wrapped around the sides. I didn't tend to like that. And I didn't like the fact that my cast off stitch didn't match the bottom. So for me, this is how I make my blankets. I like it uniform all the way around. You can also add a border all the way around your blanket with a different color yarn. You can do that. But this is what I like to do. You do what you like to do. But this is an option. Give it a try. It does take practice to learn. If you make a mistake, give yourself the grace to say, it's only yarn. Rip it out. It's okay to rip it out and start all over. It's not a big deal. And try again. You can do it. I know you can. Okay, so I hope you give this a try. And stay warm. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.